What's up? What's up? What's up, my beautiful, diverse American people? It's me, JD, the good JD. And we made it to Friday. Congratulations to everybody, especially families with kids and school, and those of you that are dealing with weather and snow. And we made it. We made it to Friday. And that's how we get through this. That's how we overcome. One day at a time, 1 week at a time, and we overcome. So it's been quite a week. I said it in previous videos. You cannot expect anything but nonsense and fabricated, ridiculous ignorance and hatred from a criminal syndicate regime that traffics in ignorance, greed, and hatred. So, right getting into this, those are not drug smuggler boats. Okay, I'll say it again. Those are not drug smuggler boats. Okay? That's it. Period. Cartels will not continue to lose millions of dollars in merchandise, sending boat after boat, 20, 22? Well knowing the fucking U.S. Navy is blowing up anything that moves out there. It's ridiculous, beta boy nonsense to think a cognizant, thinking human being can swallow any of that. The first one, maybe. Let's give them that one. That's why they had to kill everybody. That might have been a real fishing boat trying to smuggle in a few kilos of cocaine. That might have been that. After that, if it was cartels, they would have stopped. There are way too many other means for them to ship product than the 1970s Miami Vice drug runner boats in the high seas. How stupid would they have to be? And let me make this perfectly clear to anyone that doesn't understand. Cartels, much like Home Depot and Walmart, are in business to make money. That's it. They're in business to make money. Not to provide content for beta boy bitches so that they can release it to their complicit media on the catching the drug smugglers on the high seas. Some 1970s Miami Vice bullshit. Those days are gone, man. It's solely for theater, right? U.S. prop boats deliberately deployed by the beta boy bitches to blow up live, conveniently record so they can fabricate their videos of the cartoon drug smugglers on the high seas, so they can release them and it's all bull. And it's not about drugs. Number one, fentanyl doesn't come from Venezuela. Doesn't. In the real world, modern day cartels use 3D printers to fabricate idols, figurines, vases, 1,000,001 little items that they can manufacture, 3D print, and ship directly to their customers. using tribe delivery. They don't have to send speedboats in the middle of the ocean. Come on, man. It's all 1970s beta boy barking diversions to cover up their nefarious, predatory, greed-driven ignorance and hatred for fellow Americans and humanity at large. If it truly were about drugs, the Nicaraguan president, cocaine kingpin, convicted and responsible for tons of drugs on American streets, wouldn't be pardoned if it were about drugs. Enough. Enough of the beta boy bitch ignorance and hatred. That's all it is. Venezuela has the deepest oil reserves outside of the Middle East. So they want Venezuela's oil reserves. As part of the drill, baby, drill. 1940s mentality. Because you saw, Obama had the cash for clunkers to get those old gas-burning American cars off the road and build new, efficient ones. They got rid of that. They got rid of that. It's the other way around. It's cash for clunkers. Because they want to go back to building those crap American cars that created the Japanese vehicle industry to begin with. Because the whole point of the Japanese vehicle was that it was better than the American crap they were manufacturing. So they want to go back to building that crap. And get Venezuela's oil so they can continue to pollute the planet and continue the same bullshit little group profiting off of the backs of everybody else. That's all it is. It's just another part of the monopoly that has created this dysfunction. Because, just common sense, everything that has ever lasted the test of time has been built from the bottom up. Name one thing built from the top down that has survived the test of time. So this idea that creating this oligarchy and where it'll trickle down never worked. Doesn't work. Has not worked. It's only trickled up. And trickled up to the point that American greed, ignorance, and hatred has blossomed. Because, look, and I'll say it again, I mean, a lot of people blame Reagan, and rightly so. A lot of his bullshit policies created this mess. Empowered this mess, better said. But to a certain degree, I think because of his coming dementia and just, a rosy outlook, he actually believed that trickle-down economics would work because he was naive and he believed in the good of man. He believed that if you gave more to those doing better, they're going to put more money into their companies, they're going to pay their employees better, and everything will trickle down into American prosperity. It didn't. It trickled up and created American oligarchy. A golden age of ignorance and hatred. Fueled by beta boy bitches who fell ass backwards into wealth. declared themselves geniuses, because nobody else would, solely because they could buy shit up. And yeah, most of it failed. But a few of them succeed because you got so much money to fucking begin with. It's hard to fail. But the motherfucker bankrupt a casino. Give me one slot machine. Just one. And see what I can do with it. So it's not working. It's not working. It's working for a small amount. It has worked because America is such a great country and was built with the three equal branches of government, three equal separate branches of government that they're trying to dismantle because they know that is the guts of the constitutional republic that we are. And they love saying, oh, but we're not a democracy. Because if you're not a democracy, you're a dictatorship. Because a constitutional republic is a democracy. They don't understand that. So we the people, again. I don't know what really happened, because the crust of this thing, and that's what's coming out, is that you can see that there's zero accountability. There's zero leadership. One says that the other one, oh, I don't know. The other one, oh, I walked away. I didn't see it.
Because there was fire. There was fire. I didn't watch it. There was just fire.
Throwing his hands up in the air.
Oh, there was fire. There was fire. There's smoke and fire.
And here's just a little observation. Our crappy little phones, our good phones, can take remarkable video. Our satellites in space, our Google Maps, we can zoom in and read a number on a building. Right now. You can do that right now. Google Earth, Google. Read an address. You can see what's on the floor. If somebody dropped an ice cream, you would see that ice cream on the floor. That much detail, that much resolution. So you're trying to tell me that military satellites are producing Bigfoot quality blurry videos of these strikes? Because we can take a picture of a license plate in the dark. We can photograph space dust on a comet. But we don't have better video than that grainy, black and white, blurry Bigfoot type video. The U.S. government, that's the best they can do? It's bullshit. They ain't wagging the dog, they're dogging the wag. It's all fabricated. Realize these are all TV people. This whole cast came out of TV production. That's not a coincidence. That's to fabricate. It's not that hard to figure out. Especially if you think using love and intelligence. Because if you are someone who falls for the ignorance and the hatred and enjoys what's happening because you're happy that there is a president making the lives of others worse, that is the best thing that could have ever happened to you. A president that to make the lives of others worse is the best thing that could have ever happened to you. It's the best president you could have ever had. Why? Because your life is done. Your life isn't going to get better. You're a loser. You've always been a loser. So the only way you can feel better about yourself is to have a president to make the life of others worse. That way you feel better about yourself. You don't need a president to make your life better. Of course not. You don't need that. You can do that for yourself. You can make your own lives better. In your double wide, single wide trailer. There's nothing wrong with living in a trailer. Don't get me wrong. That's not the point. The point is the ignorance and the hatred for themselves, for their community, for fellow Americans, for people just working for a better life. Because I don't want to hear anyone tell me that we want legal immigration and they got to do it right when they're picking up people in courts, in immigration court. All right? Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. That's stupid. That's just outright stupid. If you believe we want good immigration, because if they did, they wouldn't be at the courts. They wouldn't be picking up people who've been doing it right. Common sense. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's this is nothing new. This is nothing innovative. This is nothing creative that they're doing. This is just textbook playbook of fascism. That's it. The same playbook Castro used, the same playbook Hitler used. So that's why they don't like being called that. If you don't like being called something, do you ever think it might be because you're behaving that way? Because you're doing those things? So those are not drug boats. The admiral, who I still cannot figure out. I don't know if he's just one of them, a beta boy bitch, who's just a follower, or he's exactly the type of military personnel that those patriots in office created that video warning. Exactly that. He's exactly that military personnel that warning was sent to the difference between following orders and committing a crime. And he should have known. If he made that call, he should have known that second strike is murder. If you are a well-trained military leader. If you're a bitch follower, you'll say, kill him all. So I don't know that yet. And there's a third possibility, that this is an honorable man who would take the fall for his country. Nobody's thinking of that one. So there are three legitimate possibilities there. He's a bitch and a murderer and didn't care. Because the leadership above him are wiping themselves of it. The orange turd said, I wouldn't have done it. Distanced himself. The beta boy Fox reporter said,
well, to me, I walked away. There was fire. I didn't watch the fire. There was fire. It was too much for me. I had to walk away.
Because I would like to know what other operation he had to be involved in and look at other than this one. This was the first one. It was the most important one. The one you want to be personally responsible and involved with. If I were the president, I would have been there. Because I want to see what the fuck you're doing. But no, he walked away. He had other things to do. I didn't see it. Distancing. Wiping themselves from it. What other production was he working on? So enough. Enough. We need one of us. We need someone who's not in the shit. Because they're all in the shit. Everybody in DC is in the shit. Everybody in politics right now is in the shit. They're either in the shit, smell of shit, are surrounded by shit, stepped in the shit, have eaten the shit, have put it behind their ears, that they're all in the shit. So we need one of us. We've had military leaders, we've had political leaders, we had an actor, we had P.T. Barnum type take the presidency. What we've never had is a regular middle-of-the-road American. It doesn't have to be me, it could be your mom, it could be your granddad. I keep saying, a single mom with 3 kids who raised them successfully despite her idiot husband. That's leadership. So, what are we going to do? We're going to elect again from these 2 groups of billionaires that position themselves for you to pick? Or do you actually want one of you, one of us? Like I said, it doesn't have to be me. Find it, your mom, your dad, get them out, get them to talk. But this cannot continue. I've laid out policies, crazy and impossible, and I'm going to do a video where I'm just going to recap all the policy ideas. To return our nation to the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom, because that's all they wanted. That's all they wanted.
They didn't set out to build a white nation. They didn't set out to build a Christian nation.
It's in their writings. It's all over it. 4,543 words in the Constitution. Not one of them is Christianity, God, Jesus. Christian. Not one. They were writers. Deliberate, detailed men who put we the people bigger at the top for a reason. Because they knew not just the restrictions of their time, but the importance of that moving forward. They knew we the people was where the power and strength of their nation moving forward was. And we need to get back to that. We need regular Americans, like the Founding Fathers themselves. They weren't captains of industry. They weren't political leaders. They were regular people, a scientist, an inventor, writers, a shoe designer, the cobbler, iron workers, regular people. And that's what we need. And that's what the Founding Fathers envisioned from the beginning. They didn't want an oligarchy. They didn't want a monarchy. They didn't want a government run by an elite. They wanted a nation of people, of regular people. That's why they put we the people in front. It's our turn. It's time for one of us. It's time for a regular middle-of-the-road American to go in and clean up this bullshit, end the monopolies, tax the billionaires, tax the churches, and put all that funding to fix all the problems that they've created. Fix all this beta boy bitch barking and greed and ignorance that drives them. And for once, we're going to put an end to racism. I know. It's crazy and impossible. But I'll tell you, look, in Germany, you're not going to find an Adolf Hitler Boulevard. You're not going to find a statue to Hermann Goering. You're not going to find Nazi Boulevard. So why do we have Robert E. Lee streets? Why do we have Lee summits? Why do we have ignorance? Throughout our nation. That all will be gone. That is not history, my brothers, my white brothers who are so in need of history, of an identity. And I know that's what you guys need. You need to belong to something. That's not it. Go further back. Go further back, because I'm sure your ancestors came from Europe, from better people than the ignorance and hatred that festered in the early days of America. We're going to do better. And we're going to have to rebuild. I said it before, we got to rebuild. When we get our nation back, it's going to be a total rebuild. That's why we need talented, creative people. And that's the silver lining. We get to do it right now. We get to fix all that ignorance and hatred that festered for so long. We're going to put an end to that. I love you. I love every single one of you. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care where you came from. I don't care how you got into the country. I care that you love this country. That's it. Because this is the only country where you go to and can become an American. Can't go to Germany and become a German. Can't go to England and become English. Can't go to Japan and become Japanese. But you come to this country and you can become an American. And I'll say it again. I'm not a Democrat, not a Republican, not a libertarian. I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a Marxist. I'm not anything other than a fucking American who knows we can do better by the governance of love and intelligence rather than ignorance and hatred and greed. We don't need a country that's rich. We're so rich. Oh, we're taking in so much money. We're so rich. We're so rich. That we can't feed our people. We can't keep our people healthy. But we're so rich. We're so rich. Because we don't need a nation that's rich. We need a nation that's prosperous. And you measure the prosperity of a nation by the lack of hunger, the lack of crime, the lack of hatred, the lack of homelessness, the lack of hunger. That's how you measure wealth. That's how you measure prosperity. Not how many billionaires you have. Oh, we got 200 billionaires. And you got starving children. How does that equate? It doesn't. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. I'm going to fix that. The Patriot Billionaire Fairness Act will go a long way to ensuring that those amazing billionaires remain loyal to this country. Because apparently they're not. That's the fear. That if they tax them, they're going to leave the country. Well, they're not patriots then. So, my act will take care of that problem. God bless you. God bless every single one of you. I love you. I love the American people. I'm George Delata. I want to be your next president. I'm not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician. Just a regular American like you. Someone who knows we can do better. I love you. God bless you. Crazy and Impossible. This is Crazy and Impossible. Tell someone. Tell a friend. Share, like, hit all the little side buttons. Do it.